Back Sports tonight on your award-winning sports-loving channels television. We're giving attention to Nigeria's women's senior national team, the Super Falcons. They're getting ready for the 13th edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And Nigeria, they've christened it Mission X. You listen to Mercy Akide. She's a legend of women's football in Nigeria. Oluwadamiloju, when she started, she gave us things to worry about. But after listening to her conclusion, are you inspired?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is when you talk about Nigeria and you talk about the Women's African Cup of Nations, there's always a lot to look forward to. But I share her reservations, I share her worry, and I'm also concerned. Our talent has never been in doubt, but that cohesion, that holistic support for each other is one thing that I know that we need to look out for. And maybe the biggest excitement for me is that we have a lot of players, over 10 of them, who have never been at the African Women's Cup of Nations before and have a lot to prove. We can get it done, but it's going to be a difficult task.
Difficult. Okay. Yeah. I understand the cohesion stuff because when she mentioned South African coach, she's been there since 2016. I mean, in between, we've had 4 coaches. So when she's there, she's been there. And she has won it just once. So you talk about trust, talk about consistency. If we have that, we'll play better. Let's rest the Super Falcons. So tomorrow we'll continue with the countdown because it's 9 days to go to that interesting tournament. So it's about to go down. Mission X, right? Okay, now let's talk about basketball right now. That's basketball. We're even happy. Football is big. It's good. You're having the league, it finishes and everything. Well, basketball, since January, this is June. We don't know when the league will start. Okay, well, Afrobasket, we've got the names for the players. Just 20 of, we have 20 players. And after that, usually they'll prune it down to 12 players. But for now, we're going to run through, you know what she did as a point guard right there at the last championship. Ezine Kalu, of course, at the Olympics, she was big. Ifunanya Okoro combo, you also have another player who plays both point guard and also shooting guard. Elizabeth Balogun, shooting guard and small forward. Grace Efosa, that's one of those players that are coming in. She also played same position, shooting guard or forward. Sholakwe Amuso, shooting guard, small forward. That's the position she plays. Abiodun Damilola Yusuf, shooting guard or small forward. So same position that she plays with Amuso. You have Adenike Olayemi, plays position small forward. Ami Okonkwo, of course, you know her. She's a veteran with the team. A power forward. And Nicole Enabusi, also another player that you've seen with the Tigress. Now you have Palas Kanai. That's another player also. Of course, the great Musa Marina too. We always celebrate her because we saw how she grew through the league system. Then when we have a league system, Gift Uchena, power forward, also in the mix. Victoria Macaulay, that's another veteran in the team, a power forward and a center. And Christabel Esuma, a power forward and also a center. We have more players in the Izoje Uche, a power forward, also plays as a center. Lauren Ebo, a center. Nguna Oya, a center. Vera Ojenua, a center. Of course, you have Blessing Ejo for completing the squad for those in the center position. So these are the players. We have 20 of them, at least, that have been submitted to FIBA. And of course, when the championship is very close, that's when they will reduce the list to know how the real players that will be, you know, in Cote d'Ivoire. But for now, this is a step because this is actually coming early. I was chatting with one of the basketball journalists. I'm like, this list came early. He was like, this was what they submitted to FIBA. So we just got it out. So we'll wait and see how they will prepare for the Afrobasket.
I'm really excited that we got this list, especially not to drag us back. We know that there was a lot of outcry on social media, how late the Super Falcons preliminary list came. So the fact that our list for the Afrobasket came out about a month before the tournament starts, it means that, first of all, the players have an idea, a clear idea of the people that could potentially play. There's still a lot of places to fight for. Some players we know are going to be on that list based on their performances at previous tournaments, but there are a lot of sports to fight for, and we know that Nigeria does not want to.
The MBBF, big Tigress, take your salute all day, every day. MBBF, you said a good thing about Mojana too. I think it was Mojana too, and Ifunanya Okoro that were from, you know, the local league. They went to the highest level, played at the Olympics, We want to replace them. And the MBBF, they're not giving us that chance. But Cecilia, with a team that has won the title 4 times in a row, what do you want to ask me now? You want me to say that they will not win it for the 5th time? It's difficult. So let them go ahead and keep winning it, and we'll come out and talk about it here on the show.
Since 2017, right, they've been on it, and they're still going to do it again. We'll see what they can actually do. But we can actually take a look at the fixtures, what it's like, just to refresh your memory, you know, what that fixture is like for Nigeria. Nigeria is in Group D, and that's where you have Nigeria, Mozambique, and of course, Rwanda. Remember the last championship was hosted in Kigali, Rwanda, and that crowd, I mean, the Senegalese were more. The fans were more, but Nigeria somehow, that did not even face them at all. And of course, our first game is going to be July 27th, and we'll be facing Rwanda. And after that, 28th, Mozambique will be next on the... Should I use chopping board? No. Okay, we'll be next on the board. And of course, before, that's how it is for Nigeria. So this is what it's going to look like when the tournament starts on the 26th of July. Just as we are finishing the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the Afrobasket is starting from Morocco to Cote d'Ivoire. So the girls are busy. July is a busy month for women's game. All right, we'll just wait and see where they're going to start camping. Yes, the homecoming. Yeah, the girls are going to have a homecoming in Abuja. I think later in July. We'll see how, maybe at that time, we can just have a full list, because Austin is yearning for the final list. You won't get it yet. You have to wait. You have to wait for it. So wait for the final list. I'm sure it's after that homecoming. They want to use all these girls for that, because they'll be playing some exhibition games and everything. We need to have details of that, what they are trying to do with that homecoming for the girls. But unfortunately, it won't be in Lagos. So Lagosians who love basketball, you have to get the tickets and try and travel to Abuja to actually see these girls and see what they will be doing with the basketball. That's if you don't go to Morocco to watch the Super Falcons play and see if they can achieve Mission X. It's a busy one for that basketball. Okay. Yeah, Austin, the FIFA Club World Cup is going on, right?
That's right. There's a big game going on. It's Manchester City versus Juventus. Cecilia, that can easy peasy be a Champions League final match. And it started so well for Manchester City. In the 9th minute, they took the lead. And then Juve came back into it. But Cecilia, as I speak to you, 70 minutes played. It's Manchester City 4, Juventus 1. What a turnaround for Pep Guardiola and his team. And he has said it that they want to use this FIFA Club World Cup as a curtain raiser, get his team ready for the Premier League. Let's get ready for some firepower play from Manchester City this new season.
What are they trying to do? Both Juventus and Man City, they've qualified into the round of 16. What are they trying to prove? Just...
Yeah, so the interesting thing for the Club World Cup is the side of the draw that you fall is very dependent on where you finish. Already we have the second side of the draw, which seems to be a lot tougher. PSG are on that side of the draw, Bayern Munich are on that side of the draw, and I think whoever finishes second in this particular group goes to that side of the draw as well. So Manchester City have ensured that they are on what a lot of people are calling the easier side of the draw, that has the likes of Palmeiras, Botafogo. Even though Chelsea is there, Inter Milan is there, at this stage, you do not want to play the UEFA Champions League winners in PSG. So Juventus, who did very well in the first 2 games, unfortunately, they have kind of fallen.
Inter Miami is already playing PSG.
Yes, so
looking at
after that, whoever PSG is going to play in the quarterfinals, and then Bayern are on that side.
Okay, I get your point.
Permutations
I'm in Nigeria. On the round of 16. No. You're dreaming above.
No, I'm in Nigeria, so we know how to punch our calculators and say, okay, if this person does this, then this person does this.
And again, guys, Pep Guardiola now understands that this is all data mining in the media. So, Damiloju, aside where you finish being important, Pep is tired of being in the news for the bad reasons. You know? So, any opportunity now for Manchester City to be in the news for the good things, for wins, for results, they're just going to take it. And as I'm watching the game, I can tell you that they're playing like it's a final, like the final of the FIFA Club World Cup, Cecilia. So that's as good as, you know, let your next opponent know that you're not joking around. You're not here to play. So Manchester City have a big point to prove. The other game also going on is Wydad Casablanca against UAE's Al Ain. Wydad started well, took the lead, but at the moment they trailed by 2 goals to 1. not a good tale for Africa at the FIFA Club World Cup. But hey, I said let's not worry. It's good experience in the bag. They now know that football is scientific, and we must plug in those systems that will enable African football teams to compete with their counterparts all over the world, Cecilia.
Yeah, definitely. That's how it is. I mean, the African teams, well, if you look through the round of 16, the 14 teams we have so far, what? Okay, at least Mamelodi Sundowns will definitely go back to South Africa, be proud of what they've been able to achieve, because it's not easy for you to win a game and also get a point of a team. Let's just quickly run through the round of 16 fixtures already. Is starting off this weekend. So on June 28th, Palmeiras and Botafogo. I love the fact they're having these South American sides. They're actually meeting at this stage, so they have to knock one out because these guys were very stubborn, you know, in the opening. Benfica and Chelsea. Chelsea will not be smiling about this one. PSG and Inter Miami. All eyes are on this simply because of what Lionel Messi. We know what this game would definitely mean to him. When he was at PSG, they couldn't win the Champions League, but when he left, you know, they won the Champions League. How painful is that? Flamengo and Bayern Munich. This is another game to also look forward to, and that will take place on Sunday. So these are the confirmed fixtures for the round of 16. Inter Milan and Fluminense will also be in action on the 30th. Of course, you have July 1st. You have Dortmund and Monterrey. This team is another team that can score so well. Sergio Ramos, this is where he is playing. Now, he's at the FIFA Club World Cup. He's been able to lead his team to the round of 16. This South American side, I mean, it's like these guys are stubborn, right? Is that word okay?
Yeah, I think stubborn is a good word. They are also exactly. They are very fit and they are very resilient. And a lot of people have been surprised with how well they've done. But if you look at the fact that they are currently having a Brazilian league season, it had to be halted because 4 of their teams are at the Club World Cup. So while a lot of the European teams just finished the season, some of them had an off season, the Brazilian teams have been in the thick of it, so they've had their training sessions and it's been a regular season for them. It's no surprise that all 4 of them that came into this Club World Cup have been able to make it through to the round of 16. You are saying it's good that one of them will get knocked out. The Brazilian fans look at it as they have a guaranteed team in the quarterfinals, regardless of what happens. And I don't think any European team wants to play either Palmeiras or Botafogo based on what we saw in the group stage.
Yeah. Austin, I mean, you're seeing that round of 16 fixtures, right? Very interesting.
It is, you know, Cecilia, and I didn't like the fact that the South American teams are meeting. Remember when Coach Paiva said what he said before they played PSG, that the football cemetery is full of favorites, you know, and they went on to beat PSG. And that victory was what did it for Botafogo, that they are where they are at the moment, but meeting another South American team. But hey, that's what the drug gave us. But definitely, from the round of 16, we'll definitely see good football to get us talking. And that's when we will know that the FIFA Club World Cup has come alive, Cecilia.
It's from that knockout stage, of course. You win or you go home. Yeah, that's how it is. All right, let's talk about fencing. Yes, the African Championships currently taking place in Lagos is the 23rd edition of the African Championships. We have top fencers across the continent. They're actually in Lagos. You have 50 women and 100 men. About 150, fencers are actually in Lagos for this particular tournament. The 5-day event started on Wednesday, and of course 12 event tournaments. And of course, you know where it's taking place, Charterhouse, after they hosted the last one the last time. So they felt, okay, they can also do this one. And the interesting thing is that Nigeria has a 12-man squad, into this. And some of the players actually played so well. I mean, some of the, results that we got earlier today, when you have some Nigerians who did so well, someone like Oluwa Folayemi, Kinsoye, who delivered that standout performance, though he got out, in the round of 16, he couldn't go past there. But the fact that he played against top stars, and then that's another thing.
Yeah, really, really exciting and encouraging one, especially because we talk basketball, we talk football. These are sports that are very popular in Nigeria. But when you talk about fencing, a lot of people are not exposed to the sport yet, and it feels like something that a lot of Nigerians should get behind, because if I could remember when I was much younger, unconsciously when we are in the streets, we have sticks and whatever it is, and we're trying to poke fun at each other. And it's a sport that is slowly growing in Nigeria. And the fact that we can host such a prestigious tournament, and we're seeing even some of our own fencers make it through the latter stages of the competition, is very encouraging. And don't be surprised if in years to come, fencing becomes a major thing right here in Nigeria.
Yeah. I said, let's watch this report, right? Then before we comment on this, or you quickly want to comment before we call for the report?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to the Fencing Federation in Nigeria, led by Samuel Adenka. I like the consistency that they've given the sport. Look, guys, I keep saying it that with our population, we shouldn't be talking about just football. There are 12 fencing medals up for grabs at the Olympics, 6 for men, 6 for the women, and football is just one. So we need to start looking at those sports where we can actually compete. And with what they've been doing since, I think, 2016, 2017, and they've been taking fencing to the grassroots, organizing competition. Cecilia, these are good signs that development isn't far from the sport in Nigeria.
Yeah, definitely. Let's enjoy this report of what went down, you know, when the tournament started on Wednesday.
The jostle for medals begins at the 2025 African Fencing Championships at Charterhouse, Lagos. 150 fencers from 18 countries across the continent competing in the 23rd edition of the tournament. The 5-day tournament was opened with the men's EP and women's foil individual event, with the contest decided by first to 5 hits in 3 minutes.
Well, everyone has the same expectations, you know. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to make it to the final, you know. And I also have the same goal in mind. I must aim higher, you know. But I just came here to enjoy myself because, as I said before, it's my first African championship. So I just want to gain more experience and just learn more beyond my country, which is South Africa. So coming here to Nigeria and meeting other fencers in person and getting a chance to fence with them, it's a very great feeling. And I also know that after the competition, whether I lose or win, I'll be happy and I would have gained experience.
It's a great honor. You know, I like the venue, the school here, the people. So we are so happy to come here and fence and compete here. I saw today many good fencers fencing for Nigeria national team. I think they have the talent, but they need good coaches to support them to be in the high level, you know.
Nigerian athletes weren't left off the tussle.
It means everything to me because it's my first time here, as you all know, but fencing against not only other African countries, but also African fencers that have been to the Olympics. And I just fenced with one, and unfortunately I lost, but in that loss, I actually learned a lot, you know, is that I have teams and friends and families that's cheering for me. So I'm not gonna give up, you know. To be honest, I nearly did give up, but after seeing them cheer for me, I just want to give my all, you know, because they are here for me and I want to be here for them.
Organizers believe the championships is a stepping stone for Africa's rise to prominence in fencing.
We have around that are coming to watch. Even our athletes that have not had the opportunity to travel yet, that are having to fence locally, are having to fence against some of the best fencers. So, of course, the experience is there. It obviously reinforces our own athletes as well because they're used to fencing some of these guys abroad. But I think for us as well, it will boost the image of Nigerian fencing. It will create more awareness, which it is creating awareness. It would encourage more people to join the sport, to enable us to develop the sport and grow the sport. And I think in all, it's great for the development of fencing.
We have 31 countries in Africa that is member of the FIA and African Confederation, which is a great number. But unfortunately, we have extremely well-developed, strong countries, and we have countries where we have basic fencing. FI is doing big efforts in programs for development of fencing in Africa. Every year, all the African countries, registered African countries, receive equipment, sponsorship for participation to world championships, for zonal championships like this one. And we are trying to bring the number of fencers to the respectable level in all 31 countries.
The Lagos State government praised the International Fencing Federation for selecting Nigeria as a host of the prestigious event.
It will interest them.
All right, that's the Fencing for You Championship that started Wednesday in Lagos for a 5-day event. Well, Austin, we have to go. Development is key right there. I love the support that they're getting from the international body.
I love it so much, Cecilia. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to talk about it. We will do it some other time. At the FIFA Club World Cup, it's now Manchester City 5, Juventus 1. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Dami, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight.
It's always a pleasure being with you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night, sir.